They say innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity and not a threat. This quote perfectly highlights today's conversation. In a world where innovation is often overwhelming, those who emphasizes on innovation often become true pioneers of opportunity. And one such visionary is Dr. Pratap Nair. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Pratap Nair. Sir, we're absolutely delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Adipa.
Yes, to give you all a brief, Dr. Pratap Nair is the founder, president, and CEO of Ingenero. With a PhD from Rice University and a BTech from IIT Bombay, he has revolutionized the field of process safety management, remote process engineering, and digital tolling technology for manufacturing operations. Sir, your journey has been inspirational for a lot of people. Could you please walk us through some of your milestones throughout your journey?
Yeah, a lot of this started way back when I was at IIT Bombay, getting my chemical engineering undergraduate degree. And so after that, I got my doctorate from Rice University, which is also in chemical engineering, but application to biomed. So it was a joint program between the Chemie department at Rice and the Baylor College of Medicine. So that was my first exposure to looking at something very multidisciplinary, applying chemical engineering skills. Coming out of after my doctorate, my first job was actually developing some very unique software. It was pioneering software at that time, doing real-time optimization for chemical plants for the US industry to start with. So I was part of the development team and then also part of the projects and then, actually popularizing the technology at that time. So that's kind of some of where this started. And at that time, we were actually sitting in Houston and remotely monitoring the progress of all this in a very remote location in the northern part of America. Then time flew by. I got more into management consulting that gave a very different, view into things for me. And then I came back to India in the mid-90s, started working for a pharmaceutical company, did various roles for them, all the way from manufacturing, doing a lot of joint ventures, business development. And after that, is when I always had the entrepreneurial kind of bug in me. So that's when I came out and started this company in 2002 along with a business partner of mine.
All right, that's a fascinating perspective. Your ability to merge technical expertise with strategic problem solving is truly inspiring. Could you please tell us more about what inspired you to start Ingenero? What exactly inspired and keeps you motivated?
Now, given this background that I have, chemical engineering, I've always been, by training, perhaps the interest has always been there. So while going through my journey, working in the initial years in the US industry, I started observing certain gaps. And then when actually I was working from the side where I was consulting and providing services and software solutions. And then again, I saw it from the other side, actually working with a manufacturing company. So I was able to clearly see there were some needs and gaps as the industry was evolving. And that was the strong need for technical, a deep look into how processes and plants were operating. And given that software experience and process experience and seeing this need, that is where I got the initial idea where we could try and put these together. India was a fantastic place because there's tremendous talent. And at that time, in geographies in the West, that talent pool was decreasing, and they were calling it the grandpa boom. A lot of them were going out and not filling that gap in the industry. So that's where I was trying to put things together and fill that gap. And that was really the initial motivation for what we were doing at Ingenero.
All right. Could you please share with us an example of a complex international deals you negotiated and what strategies helped you achieve a successful outcome?
Actually, a lot of my career has been involved with international business, international deals. And so one thing that really comes to mind goes way back when I was working with the pharmaceutical company. Was a deal I actually spearheaded and helped close with a Japanese company. Of course, the pharmaceutical major was in India, and we were trying to get a strategic alliance and going with the Japanese. They were also a pharmaceutical company. And so that was very satisfying because there were a lot of challenges. One, the work approach, the quality aspects in Japan, and particularly at that time in India, we were very poles apart. And so being able to put that together and then the cultural differences and all that, close that deal was something that was fairly challenging and very satisfying. So that was one of the deals I still remember, even though that was like more than 25 years ago, or maybe more than that. So since that, there have been several deals, of course, with the US, with Ingenero, and so, but this one sticks out in mind, and so I kind of thought I should share it.
That's a great example of strategic thinking in a very high-stake environment, right? What challenges have you faced in integrating AI-based advanced analytics in process manufacturing, and how have you overcome them?
See, advanced analytics, so even when we first started at Ingenero, the whole game was to utilize advanced analytics to help operate chemical plants a lot better. But over time, as the computing power went up, there were a lot of improvements. The internet came, the communication was very fast. So a lot of these developments actually spawned off a lot of very innovative technologies. And you could do a lot more computations, a lot faster, a lot less cost. And so that, enabled a whole different, and that's really where the whole, I'd say, artificial intelligence more started. And we caught it early in around 2015. We decided, given our history, we said, well, we can utilize these developments to actually do things a lot more, a lot faster, a lot better, utilizing some of these AI techniques. And even in the last 10 years, that has improved significantly. So when the idea came at that time really dealing with a client where they had digitized a lot of their operations. But the CEO who I met at that time, it was one of the largest midstream companies in the US. He came to me and said, we've digitized all this, but we're not getting any value. And so this is where we put our heads together and said, listen, given if you can do the deep analytics using artificial intelligence with some of the digital twins and so on, that value will come. Behind the scenes, if that is working as a brain, your digitized, whatever you've got there will come to life and you'll be able to. That was the initial concept. This is where we first started. And that was widely successful. We deployed that across about 45 plants of theirs, and that gave them tremendous value. So this is really where we first got started down this path. And then we, kept on top and we evolved. The challenges have been, if you look at it, they're both internal as well as external. The internal challenges were, we were by then working for more than a decade with a certain business model. The company was, very well, everyone was very tuned to it. They were delivering that. And then suddenly, changing and adding something new, even though it was very futuristic at that time, even for internal people was difficult. Change is always difficult. And so it was like a ship really going very fast and you're trying to change the course. So that was a challenge, but we, got through it, and, it's very classic management techniques, and we managed there. And so the teams really caught on very fast, and, we've got very adaptive teams in that way. And so that got solved. And then it was really on the external side with the clients. Again, a question of change management, resistance to change, doing things differently, then misconceptions. A lot of people said, oh, AI, they think it's, it's something different. But the end result really always has to be you have to improve on something, solve something, not do the same old in a different way. And so getting that across, working with the clients and, taking that to a next level, it was a challenging thing to do with several clients. It was a learning process. But now that we've been through it and have several successes under our belt, it's also easier. There is showcase. You can point to the client and it's easier for them to assimilate it. It has been a challenging ride, but very satisfying, because when you actually start seeing the results, that's really what we are all in this game for.
Could you please highlight a bit more about the Alumnus Award you have received from IIT Bombay?
Yes, that was an award I received earlier this year. Highly honored and surprised to some extent, because it's an award that less than 1% of the people who graduated from IIT Bombay are felicitated with. So it's something that you have to be nominated by your peers to start with. And I later learned that there is a very deep scrutiny and a tight process. There's a whole committee, consisting of some of the very, apart from just the IIT professors, there's people from the industry, ex-IIT, stalwarts, if you will, and they actually check your background quite a bit and so on. So when I did receive it, it was quite an honor, and very humbled to receive that. It's called the Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Congratulations. Yes. And coming on to our next questions. With extensive interactions with CEOs and senior executives worldwide, what have you learned about building trust and rapport at the highest levels of leadership?
Yeah, that is extremely important. Even though a lot of the business execution may take place at maybe at very different levels in these companies, I found that it's extremely useful and important that we have a link with the C-levels in these companies, and I've tried to maintain that over the years, ever since we started and built relationships and accounts with different, fairly international global companies. So it's very important when dealing with the CEOs to make sure that you are listening to them, and you're able to actually help. Once you listen and you understand these are some of their pain points, be able to innovatively go to them with a solution and then deliver on it. Because the more you do that, the more trust you gain, the more credibility you gain, and people are willing to engage more with you. On the softer side, it's not just going straight and just talking business. It's very important to have more, empathize more, have a personal touch. I found that to be very important. Keep in touch, communicate very clearly, be very transparent. These are all very important things I've found, and that has helped in maintaining the relationships and building over time. You deliver all these, you are automatically able to build that trust, and you end up with very long-lasting relationships. So today I've got several such relationships with the C-level, some of who have even retired and I'm still in touch with. And it's not like you are in touch with the person just because he or she is in that position, and after they leave, it's over. It's very important. So you build a bond and a personal thing, and I found that it's mutually beneficial in every way. Whether on a personal level or on a professional level. So these are some of the things I've learned, and I try and practice that. And as I keep going forward.
Yes, just like you said, trust is the foundation of leadership. As we look back at your career, how has your technical background in chemical engineering influenced your strategic thinking in business optimization and corporate governance?
Certainly the basic chemical engineering degree, let me break it up. The basic engineering degree itself, where it helped is really with analytical thinking, being able to take diverse inputs and synthesize it, and then kind of really look at what makes sense and how do you attack a problem, things like that. So that's been very helpful, whether it's technical or even in business. You can use it at both places. So the analytical thinking it has helped. When it comes to the chemical industry part of it, the chemical engineering degree I've found to be very, very versatile in a lot of ways. Like I told you earlier, even in my doctorate, the chemical engineering is one field that is the engineering aspects of three science, whether it's physics, chemistry, and also biology. You have all these three sciences that are, the engineering of which is what chemical engineering is. So the applications are diverse in diverse areas. It could be chemicals, pharmaceuticals, the life sciences. So in that respect, it did help, because I was not afraid to go explore. In my career, I have gone and done different kinds of worked in different areas. So I was never afraid to kind of take it up and understand it from the basics. So that is really where I found the engineering as well as the chemical part of it has helped greatly. Beyond that, of course, there's a lot of the business things I've picked up and learned along the way, which is very, very obviously important. Beyond analytical thinking, the soft skills are so important. Ability to communicate, ability to link with people, ability to be able to build that the trust, build the people's confidence. Also make sure you're taking care of the people. It's not just talk. You have to really follow through on any commitment you make. So these are things that you learn. And then obviously there's a finance side of it, which there's numbers, always the analytics helps, but still, having that fiscal prudence, making sure that you're keeping an eye on cash flows, things like that. So of course, in all these diverse areas, I found the degree has helped in a lot of ways. Beyond, of course, things that you learn and you keep adding and you keep learning. It's not you learn something and you're done. It's lifelong learning, as I say. So that's kind of where I think it has helped me.
Learning never stops. And I happened to come across one of your goals that goes like success is subjective, and you believe in perseverance, persistence, and resilience, and empowering and developing teams around you. Could you please give us a gist about the code that you believe in? What was the thought inside your head?
Yeah, success is actually very subjective. What I consider success may not be what someone else considers success. Some people may consider, you have to become a billionaire to be called successful. Others may believe that you need to have a very happy family life to be termed successful. So everyone's beliefs are different. I've always liked to maintain a fair balance. I've always believed you need to really have a balance between your family life, your social life, and your professional achievements, and what you. At the end of the day, what's my belief is you have to deliver something to the world around you. You have to make a change. You have to make a difference. So in that regard, certainly, strive to do that for the industry. Do something where you have an impact on the industry, have an impact on the people. You have. It's very important that you created an opportunity for people, and I have always believed that as a company, for the company to grow, you need to have not one mind thinking. You need to have multiple minds thinking. And the only way you can get that is if you empower people. They have to take ownership of things. If you don't give them that space and freedom to do things, it is not going to happen. So that is what I really meant, where, empowering the people. And what we found, and I found it over time, it has helped greatly because a lot of the people then actually take ownership. It's not always, it's my way or the highway. It's not just my idea. I may have an idea, but then I listen to, people who are there. They should be free to talk and oftentimes you hear, A, B, and C may have much better ideas. So then it's not about, since I said it, that's the way it has to be. You pick up on that idea. It's the best idea that you take, and that's going to make a difference. So that's really what I meant by empowerment, and that is very important. And so these are things that I believe, I get satisfaction out of, and I believe that's at the end of the day, happiness is a function of all these things. But like I said, it's subjective. Different people may have different drivers to feel that they're successful. So that's really what I meant by that. It's truly very subjective.
You pretty much answered my next question, which was the very controversial question about work-life balance. According to you, work-life balance should be a norm or not?
It's all about, it's very individual in a lot of ways. The way I've the way I've approached and expectations from the teams who work along with me in the company, it's always been it's not important whether you put in 1 hour of work or 20 hours of work. It's your output. If you're able to, you're given a role, you've taken up a role, and you've committed to it. If you're able to deliver on that role, that doesn't matter whether you work 2 hours or as long as you're able to deliver and fulfill your role, that is a base level expectation. It's not, I don't count the hours. It's more of you're able to. So this is where giving ownership to people in terms of the empowerment, give them the freedom. And they also have to believe that, yes, I have to, this is something that it is my responsibility to give that, whether it is to the company or to the society or to the industry. They take the responsibility and run with it. So that becomes, very important, a lot more important than counting hours. The moment you start counting hours and that becomes the norm, then I have seen people just become doers. then it's one person thinking, and the one person has to say, do this, 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 and the people will like robots, they'll go and do it. That's a way of running. I don't say it's right, wrong, good, bad, ugly, nothing. It's just a personal view. I've always believed in the other side of things, where the output is important and people's satisfaction doing that is also equally important. I've played by those rules, so that's just my way of looking at it.
That's a very diplomatic answer. And coming on to our last question, under your leadership, Ingenero has become a global force for integrating advanced analytics, machine learning, and applied AI to drive safety, efficiency, and sustainability. What is your aim for Ingenero?
Our vision has always been to be a force to reckon with, and be someone people will look to do this kind of process technology work. And so we wanted to create a name for ourselves in this area. It's a very it's a niche area in a lot of ways, but a very high skilled area. So we have been maintaining that and going down that path. How we go down that path, you have to keep with the times. You have to really keep looking at the market. So that is how we even started. While we started and did a lot of analytics, we continue to do analytics, but the way we do it keeps changing depending on how technologies evolve in the market. So that's really how we've looked at things and how we've progressed. So the other side of it, our mission is to make sure people who are working as teams here, they find this as a haven to work. They have to look forward to coming here to work, or wake up in the morning to be excited to work. So that is very important, and that is people who really want to practice in this field. They're the ones who obviously we cater to in a lot of ways for working in this company. So that's something we try and continue to make sure keeps happening, and this is how we drive the way forward.
Correct. One last bonus question. What would be your words of wisdom for aspiring leaders in your field?
Well, this is something, I'm not sure I'm the right person to ask, but anyway, I can attempt it. It is, for different people, it will be really different, but being able to, anything you do, you really have to have the passion. Without passion, I've found, you'll just be sailing along. The excitement will not be there. You see that a lot of people, burn out very quickly. So you really it needs to be a reason for being, for doing something. So unless you have that passion, the fire won't be there. So that's something, and I know at least a lot of the creative people, the type of people we have in teams and we all work together, have been people who like to be creative. Creative can always be in different fields, right? You have creative not just in art, you have creative in technical areas as well. So, such people with such outlook would like to keep doing things, keep on top of things, be different. So the vision is how, our working with AI and taking new techniques, keeps everyone, rejuvenated and excited about doing. The objective is the same. You improve the way, operational excellence, but how you get to it, and you raise the bar each time. So that is really what we drive towards. And so as leaders coming up in this, passion, persistence, there's always going to be challenges. You have to really persevere through a lot of the challenges. these are things I found have helped me, and hopefully it'll help someone else. Just keep that in mind. Don't give up at the first low that comes your way.
Dr. Nair, your journey is masterclass in leadership, strategic thinking, and innovation. Thank you so much for sharing with us your inspirational journey and walking us through your milestones. It's been an absolute honor.
Thank you, Adipa. Thank you for taking the time and going through very interesting questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you.